heard of Dokdo?
No, what's that?
If you guess, what do you think it is?
It's like some kind of emotion or something like that.
Actually, it's the name of an island in Korea.
Alright.
So in English, it's a Dok Islands.
Alright.
It is located between Korea and Japan. What makes it problem is it has been part of Korea for hundreds of years, but Japan insists that Dokdo belongs to Japan for decades. You have never heard about it.
No.
In your opinion, why do you think Japan insists like that?
So like if I got it right, it has been part of Korea and now Japan wants the part of this. They want to have more money. I guess maybe it's like a beautiful place people visit or something like that. They probably have some sort of thing that makes people earn more money.
There's a lot of natural resources under the island. Would you feel that if some country tried to take some part of your country?
I would feel very bad and like, you know, you just have your own place and then somebody just trying to take it off from you. Like, I wouldn't feel comfortable with that. If this place was a Korean place for such a long time and now someone is stepping there and just telling you that now it's a Japan.
What is funny is that since it's part of Japan, not a single Japanese are allowed to step on the island. That's total nonsense.
I would say just be kind, just be nice, but at the same time remember that those people on the islands, they are also the people. Japanese people actually insist of this island becoming the Japan or not.
They are educated at school. Dokdo belongs to Japan.
Alright.
So they grew up with the knowledge.
Well, that would be very hard to change their perspective. Trying to steal a part of that culture and trying to steal that part of your memories from you, it shouldn't be like that.
That's the biggest reason Korea and Japan are not getting along with each other. Thanks for hearing the story of Dokdo.
Thank you so much.
Have you heard Dokdo?
What is it?
Actually, it's a Korean word.
No.
If you guess, what do you think it is?
Is it like a company or is it a person?
Actually, it's the name of an island in Korea,
Okay.
located between Korea and Japan. And were you aware that Korea and Japan are not getting along with each other?
I had a perception that there's some sort of tension between those two countries just because of the history, but I didn't know that it was to a very serious extent.
What's the problem is that it has been Korean territory for over 1,000 years, but for the last decades, Japan has tried to steal this island from Korea without any background. Japanese governments made an anniversary for the islands and they name it in Japanese way. You have never heard this kind of issues?
No.
Actually, there are many reasonable grounds. Since 512, a general from Korea occupied the island, and since then, Dokdo has been officially part of Korea. Before 20th century, no documents from Japan say that Dokdo belongs to Japan. But on the contrary, a lot of documents say that the Dokdo belongs to Korean territory. How do you think about it?
I would say that if it has been Korean land and there's no reason for Japanese people to want to take it, I would definitely think that it's not right just coming from like a third person perspective. If there's no rightful reason for Japanese people to attempt to take over the island, then yeah, I would say it should still be considered Korean territory.
You also know that Japan colonized Korea for 35 years.
I actually did not know that.
I mean, that's why so many Koreans are really upset about this Japanese government's attempt. So, do you think Korea just stay silent?
No, I definitely think that since there's no rightful reason for Japan to take over the island, there's no reason for Korea to stay silent. I think if historically the land belongs to Korea and if Korea still has the right to that land, I definitely think that they should do everything in their power to maintain that land.
America was also a colony of England a long time ago. If England still insists some part of America belongs to England, how would you feel?
In terms of that, I think a lot of variables play into it, but I think if previously belonged to England but are now American, there's not much of a reason for England to come in and take American land. It has changed hands throughout history, so
Actually, this is the true face of Japan covered under the cute animation for children. Thanks for hearing the story of Dokdo.
of course.
Have you heard of Dokdo?
No,
If you guess, what do you think it is? It's a Korean word.
I really have no idea.
Actually, it's the name of an island in Korea.
Okay.
Problem is that for the last decades, Japan has been trying to take it away from Korea.
Which way is trying to take it? Like how?
They educated Japanese people at school, especially young students, and they even designated an anniversary for that island and named it in Japanese way. So when you hear these kind of things, how do you think about it?
Well, I don't like to hear something like that, especially because something similar is happening in my country. I have empathy towards Korean people when it comes to that, but I would really like to know more facts in like political way and the legal way. Do you have any more information?
After the colonization in 1946, after a year, Korea became independent from Japan. According to memorandum of the Commander-in-Chief of the Allies, Dokdo Island was excluded from Japan and Japanese or ships from Japan were not allowed to access the island.
Okay.
This is a historical fact, but after 1994, laws about the sea area has changed and it has been discovered some natural resources under the islands.
That's what they would get if they get the island.
Could you understand why Koreans hate Japanese?
Yeah, I have a bigger picture of why they hate Japanese now. All Japanese people are very bad and they want to take the island away, or it's just the government.
The governments and most Japanese think that Korea illegally occupied the island, which is totally wrong and nonsense.
Okay, if it's like that, okay, then I can understand why you feel like that.
Do you think Korea stays silent about this matter?
Well, I don't think they should stay silent, but who are they claiming the island from? Like from Korea itself? Like give us the island?
They just claim that the island belongs to Japan and
That's it.
they try to let the world know that the island belongs to Japan.
Not good. Not nice.
What would you like to say to Japan?
Back off. How can you just come somewhere and say that's mine? No facts, nothing. It's not fair, I would say. Yeah, just back off.
This is the true face of Japan that make a lot of animation. Thank you for the hearing story of Dokdo.
Thank you for telling me about it. I didn't really know. But I would really like to be more.
Have you heard Dokdo?
No.
Actually, it's the name of an island in Korea, but Japan has claimed that it belongs to Japan for decades. But actually, so many Koreans are living on the island, and Korean troops are stationed in this moment in the island. So, do you think it is right to steal one island from other country?
No, it's not normally because if the peoples live in Korea's islands, the Japan don't need to steal this island if people want to live in. It's not correct, I think.
There's a lot of documents and maps that indicate Dokdo belongs to Korea. Also, the sea, Dokdo Island located, the name of the sea has been called East Sea in Korean Donghae, but Japan tried to change the name of the sea to Japan Sea to have ground for the Dokdo Island.
Japan don't steal the island of another countries. You need to be friendly with your in another countries. It's not correct.
Thank you for hearing the story of Dokdo Island.
Thank you.
Have you ever heard of Dokdo?
No.
It's the name of an island in Korea. So in English, it's Dokdo Islands. Problem is that Japan insists that Dokdo belongs to Japan, which is total nonsense. And it is true that Japan colonized South Korea for 35 years in the early 20th century. But around the time, on a document by Japan also says that Dokdo is a part of Korea, which is the proof that what Japan says today is totally wrong. How do you think about it?
Like, to be honest, never heard about this territorial issue, those kind of territorial issues, and that made me always like a little bit mad because completely absurd in a way. I'll say if the people living in this island, also their history and their life.
After this kind of truth, is there any change the way you think of Japan?
Yes, because I really had the way to see Japan like a peaceful country maybe, and I mean that makes me angry that there is still territorial issues like this. Is there people living in this island?
Yeah, actually there are a lot of Koreans living there and soldiers are already dispatched on the island.
Okay.